What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk a little bit about core values. Let's get into it. Once again, guys, welcome back to the channel. Scott King here. I run a DJ company in Orlando, Florida called King Entertainment Events. We did 290 events last year, mainly in the wedding industry, but we're breaking through the corporate. That's kind of exciting. And if that is something you want to check out, www.djsorlando.com. I also run a coaching business where I teach how I was able to get continued success with my business, and it works for everybody who has a service-based industry. So with that in mind, I want to talk a little bit about the blocks, the foundation, where we begin, the core values. Now, when I had my first coach, he had these core values and he would go over them every single time he went to one of the meetings. He just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page. So later along the line, if something were to happen, you'd go back to the core values. So this is basically the 10 commandments of how to be an entrepreneur and what it takes to succeed. So I mimicked mine a little bit off of his. And if you want to know who that is, go ahead and drop a comment down below. And let's just go over the values that I live by. So first, don't make excuses, make it happen. So basically anything that happens is your fault, and that's okay. As long as you know that there's something that's your fault, then you can go ahead and fix it. So that basically comes into play when somebody says, oh, you didn't do this, or I didn't know it was, $200 for that extra hour. So what that means is that you would have to be completely prepared on your end with systems in play to make sure that the other person had all of this information. And if there was something wrong, then they had missed reading that email, right? Yet at the same time, if somebody comes up to you and says something's wrong, you're like, okay, I understand it's my fault. Let me see how I can fix that for this situation. And then moving forward, you would put new systems in play to make sure that one thing doesn't happen again. Yes, you might have to take a hit on that one thing that happened, yet you can better prepare yourself for future events. I remember one time something happened to me. Somebody didn't like how the pictures came out in the photo booth. And then I was like, okay. And I gave them a complete refund. And what I did was I went out and bought something new that worked better, so that the next time something like that happened, I'd be like, well, I don't know. Let's take a look at it. I just spent like $2,000 to make sure this new photo booth was proper for the next events. And even then, if it's not right, work until you get it right. And it all boils down to don't make excuses, just make it happen. And then how punctual are you? I think that's further down the list. We'll get to that in a second. Everything is your fault, so you have to act with accountability. I understand. And at the same time, everybody makes mistakes. It's not like it's your fault and it's the end of the world. It's your fault. You own your mistakes. They aren't even called mistakes in NLP. We call them learning lessons. So just remember that when something happens to you that is not favorable, you just know not to do that again, or figure out a way to fix it for the next person. Or it's like learning how to walk, right? You fell down. It's okay. We're going to sturdy up those legs and just keep on moving and fixing things along the way while owning it, because, yep, got me. I didn't understand that part, and I'll make sure that it's fixed for the next time. Positivity and enthusiasm is a requirement. So if you go in moping and not ready to execute the day's chores or the day's task, then you're probably not going to get it done, or not even going to be happy about it. And that goes to life coaching as well. Do things that you like to do. The more you focus on the things that you like to do, the better off you'll be. Yes, we all have to do things that maybe not favorable. If it's getting you to your end goal, then that's the whole point. Right? I'm doing this for a greater means. All right. Also, be punctual. When emails come in for me, I respond like 5 to 10 minutes. And then when someone asks me a question, I do the best that I can to get right on top of it. And I'm able to do that because of the systems that I have in play. So if something comes in, I have copied responses, I email it out, and then there you go. Now, I had to learn this along the way, right? So in 2020, I was understanding what all this meant. So if you didn't get the sale, well, it's my fault. I get it. What can I do to get the next sale? Or how can I get better at what I do to make my services desirable, right? So with that in mind, there are no failures, only learning lessons. So take everything in stride. I think Tony Robbins is the guy that says fail forward. So whatever happens, you just keep on moving. There was one analogy in one of these videos that I watched where you have to sometimes act like a little kid. A little kid is so determined on getting that candy bar that they're going to do whatever it takes. They'll crawl over you. You're trying to hold them back, but that kid only sees the candy bar that they want. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes we have to act like a little kid to get the candy, right? Yet at the same time, making sure to keep track of all the rules and regulations that are in play. So learn something new and apply it every day. So we don't know everything, yet at the same time, we still want to accomplish more goals. So as I was building my website, I'll give you an example. I didn't know what a permalink was. And if you don't know what a permalink is, if you go to my website, it's www.djsorlando.com/let's chat. The forward slash is a permalink. Before I knew what that word even was, I just went on Google and I probably searched for 3 or 4 days to figure out what that was. And then once you figure out what the word is, then I could find the YouTube channels to tell me how to put it on my channel. And then recently, same thing with URL links, right? There was something called a subdomain. So as I was learning my CRMs and putting funnels together, I didn't know what a subdomain was or how it meant. So I had this service that creates funnels, and I went to the text and they were like, oh, you link your website like this. So I linked my website without a permalink, and it kept taking my site down. And the tech that was helping me out didn't understand that as well. So she had to go to higher management, and they were like, oh yeah, this is going to happen. So she was like, oh, okay, well, this is what needs to happen. So I didn't even know at that time what a subdomain was. So I actually have an IT guy on retainer. So I called him up and he took my entire website and put it onto his own server because he supplies servers. And if you want to know about this IT guy, hit me down below and I'll send you a link. He's amazing and he works fast and he knows everything, very knowledgeable. But anyway, he taught me how to make subdomains, and now I can connect those to my funnel pages, and sales videos and funnels will be, sending out here soon, as soon as I get all my products lined up, because that's a little bit of a learning experience as well. So once again, learn something new and apply it. Just keep plugging away little by little. We all have to start somewhere, and keep your North Star in front of you. Whatever that goal is, just keep working on that until you get there. In fact, shoot up for the stars, and if you land on the moon, well, you won't be disappointed. The next thing, treat everybody like family that you like. My family was a little rough. We're from New York, and that's how I tackle that value. The next one, it should be higher up on the list. Your word is your bond. And that is a core value within everybody who's in my circle. If they say they're going to be there, I believe they were going to be there. And if there's any hiccups along the way, they usually just get X'd out, because I want people that say what they mean and do what they say. And if they can't do those two things, I understand things come up. I understand people have lives. I understand all those things. Yet at the same time, flaky people are just not in my circle. All right. So with that in mind, communication is key. Communication is key. So here's something to think about. One of my coaches is an expert hypnotist. He is a master at language. He one time was looking to hire somebody as his personal assistant. And at that time, I applied for the job. So I have a video online if you guys want to check that out, that just talks about this whole situation. Yet at the same time, when I applied for this position, I was punctual. I filled out the form and I got it back to them within 5 or 10 minutes, right? So this person who was looking for an assistant decided that texting me through Facebook message was the best way to communicate. And for someone who is a master at language, you think they would have called. Anyway, I didn't get the job because he had scarcity mindset, and I'm okay with it. Yet at the same time, I held this person on such a high pedestal that I just don't have any respect for now. And if you live by these values, it'll just be clear for you, and your path will just clear like the Red Sea. All right. So up next, what do we got? Taking the time to understand the people in front of you is mandatory. That's very important in sales. So basically, people that come to you, they have an issue they need to fix. And whatever your service is, you have to explain to them that you will be able to execute and handle whatever issue they have. That's why they would be coming to you. Otherwise, if you're more self-indulged and it's all about you, then you won't be able to move forward, because you got to think of it like this. Everybody's out for their own best interest, whatever that means. everybody's individual, but basically they wouldn't be doing something if, if it wasn't in their best interest. And that is something for you to keep in mind when you're on a sales call. All right. The next one is straight from the guy. It's almost, I think I added a word, yet this is what spoke to me the most. Entertain, educate, execute, and most importantly, empower. The people that are around me, I want to make sure they're educated. I want to make sure that they have their best foot forward. I do honestly care about their success if they're following the rest of the core values. Guys, thank you for your time. If this is interesting to you and you want to learn more about the coaches that I have, I think I'm up to $50,000 in coaches. So come learn. Let's go. I'm excited. I'll see you on the inside. www.coachscottking.com. Peace.